It is a beautiful morning. I love how the show has been energetic and a lot of positivity. Just the vibe is right for a morning. And all of us who care about our health, I know you're always looking forward to Thursdays because of the healthy inside out. And for sure, you cannot be healthy inside and not look good in the outside. But nutrition is all it takes to actually achieve that healthy inside out. Today, however, I'm with amazing ladies. I know you've seen them before somewhere, and we're not just talking about nutrition. We have narrowed this down to you mothers, you ladies, and we are very specific and intentional about it. So please text your sisters and your moms and your aunties and your female relatives or even your husbands. They need to know how this goes, right? So let them know we are also live on Facebook, Look Up TV. And today we're talking about nutrition and reproductive health. This is the connection you should never ignore. Remember, they are experts on set, so everything they say here is very authoritative, okay? And of course, I have Dr. Ida Lindsay Wanjeku. She's also here as, of course, KMA Social Responsibility and Welfare Convener, and Dr. Karen Muthembwa, who is a gynecologist resident and obstetrics. I'm gonna learn more of this, medical terms. But ladies, you look amazing. Good morning.
Good morning.
The smiles. It is all, we don't see this from doctors much. People think it's gonna be, yes, what's the problem? And you just scribble it down and say, you need this. But it's good to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Morning Drift.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
So we'll start with Karen, with that camera right there. Say good morning, your introductory remarks, and what we expect this morning.
Wow. Thank you very much, Anki. My name is Dr. Karen Muthembwa. I'm a resident in obstetrics. By the way, it's obstetrics.
See?
And gynecology. That means I'm doing my master's in obs and gyn. I'm passionate about women, reproductive health. So I usually teach about this. I enjoy teaching you. What you should expect from me today is basically understanding yourself and your nutrition, especially when it comes to some of the reproductive areas of your life.
Amazing, thank you. At least I learned how to pronounce that correctly.
Yes.
And the amazing Lindsay.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Lindsay. I am many things. I am the National Kenya Medical Association Social Responsibility and Welfare Committee Convener. I am also the obstetrics and gynecologist resident, and I am also one of the team leads of the Kenya Association of Trainees of Obstetrics and Gynecology, representing the Kenyan chapter in the whole of the world.
Wow, so many hearts.
Yes.
And I like how, it's been a Women's Month and people are saying, well, you're breaking the barriers for real. Remember the equality in spaces where we didn't see women. We'd see you as nurses.
Yes.
But now that space, well, congratulations, ladies. I am proud of you.
Thank you.
And now let's help someone back at home.
Yes.
They're probably, have conceived yesterday. and there is the conception, then the gestation period, and then you just want to make sure your child is healthy, and so are you. And then after, what next? How do you eat right and keep that pregnancy and then yourself and the child healthy throughout? Let's start with, the reproductive health, nutrition before conception, because there's the people who plan to conceive.
Yes.
And then walk us through, and then during the gestation, we're just going to go step by step for you. And of course, Lindsay here will add to anything that she might want to add to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Nutrition is a very important topic, by the way. I believe that nutrition one day will be our medicine. In fact, we should start right now. Like, instead of taking medication all the time, nutrition should be our medicine at the moment. Yes, so nutrition basically is having a healthy, balanced diet incorporated in our lifestyle. And we see this a lot with people who are going into their reproductive, in fact, before pregnancy, because right now I'll really concentrate on those ones who are intending to get pregnant and those ones who are actually pregnant right now. So nutrition is important in different ways, because what happens in your body is that once you eat food, it's supposed to go and nourish your cells, give the cells enough energy so that you can be able to run your body functions very well. And in women, as you know, we always have beliefs that this food is not good for me, this food is good for me. Sometimes we remove a whole part of a certain food group so that we can be able to get ourselves, in a certain shape, in a certain way. And this affects our lives, drastically sometimes in some people actually.
Yes.
So why it's important to actually have nutrition and know what nutrition is because you need to be at your healthy state. Your best health even before pregnancy. Best health means you're at the right weight for your height.
Okay.
That's what we usually call when we do. Yeah, it's something we usually calculate, and then we can be able to tell you whether you're within your normal weight or you're underweight or you're obese. Okay, so we usually want you in a certain weight range depending on your height. So why that is important is because it actually affects your fertility.
Okay.
And some of these conditions that occur, like if you have diabetes, if you have PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, all that is nutrition really takes a big role in why some of these things develop. And why I'm talking about it is because you need to be on your optimum health before you can get pregnant.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm really curious. I know we're gonna go deeper into what to eat, what not to eat.
Yes.
But something that has come out for me that's really important is that for some reason it would affect your fertility.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
It does, When we're talking about, fertility, it's basically cells. Your cells are supposed to produce eggs in the ovary, and those eggs are supposed to grow properly, and they're supposed to be produced and removed from the ovary and goes into your fallopian tubes. That's where the fertilization takes place. So imagine if you're not eating right, if your food groups are not right, then those eggs will not be produced properly, and they will not come out properly, and then you will not get pregnant, or you'll be missing a period here and there, So those are the issues that women usually go through, especially those ones with hormonal imbalance. Sometimes some of these things it's because of your diet. Some of these foods also have high estrogen levels. That's important for people to know. Like if you have fibroids and all these things, they feed on estrogen. So some of these foods are very highly, if you use them for a long time, let's say, for example, milk. Milk is good, but in high amounts also, you're probably taking a lot of estrogen levels, which can also stimulate some of these conditions to progress.
And that was just, introducing you to why you need this, sort of advice before you conceive.
Yes.
And if you're planning to conceive, let's see why it's important after. And then we go into details.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So this is nutrition now in the postpartum period, or rather after delivery. So why it is important is because during delivery, she will talk about how much calories that we need to have, but after delivery, you need that plus 500 calories more when you are actually breastfeeding. Why is this so? It's because, number one, you need to recover from that ordeal, that whole 9 months of pregnancy, your body stretching, your cells, overdrive, the hormonal levels were skyrocketed. Now you're coming down. Now it's a recovery time or recovery period, and then you're also breastfeeding. So that means you are producing. You need to produce milk, for that to continue. So it's like a cycle. It's a cycle. Yeah, lactation. Yes. So you produce the milk, the baby breastfeeds, you produce some more, like that. So it's a cycle. And so nutrition during the postpartum period is very, very important. Of note, you need to drink for 2 and eat for 1. Ladies?
Did you say eat? We all say eat for 2. We don't say drink for 2.
You drink for 2, but you eat for 1. So reduce on your carbs, reduce on your starches. Yeah, we know this African setup where potatoes, jahe, black beans, and all these other things, they are important. But remember, reduce on your carbs, increase on your protein levels. So why I think maybe our mothers liked the black beans than jahe was because black beans is protein.
Yes.
It's a legume, it's a protein. So, but if you do too much ugali or too much potatoes, especially, too much rice, all these carbs, try to reduce your carbs, but try and increase your protein level, and always try to get it balanced. So always on your plate, if your plate is circular, divided into 4 corners, I would need your half plate your entire half to be vegetables, and your carrots and broccoli and anything else, and then the first quarter to be protein and the second quarter to be starch.
Someone just saved her lunch today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, yeah, this is good because we're just about to get to lunch. Yeah. And now let's get into the, you know, you've given us, at least you've given us something to put in our plates. I'm looking at someone who's just conceived now, and they're thinking of, we have all the myths and misconceptions. I'll say one. If you drink Coca-Cola, okay. If you drink the soft drink, your baby's gonna come out all so clean. Did you hear that before?
Yeah.
There is, don't eat the eggs, it's gonna be so big.
Yeah.
I don't know. What should we eat then?
Yeah, okay. This is very important actually, because during pregnancy you actually go through 3 different times that need different needs. You have different needs at every different part of your pregnancy. So yes, there are many misconceptions, which I think I will try to debunk them, some of the myths. But let's talk about the first trimester.
Okay.
In fact, we already talked about trying to be healthy, eat healthy earlier before pregnancy. So I wouldn't change your diet completely. Okay. But you'll find in first trimester, that's the beginning of your pregnancy up to a certain time. So we divide it to 3. So imagine you're doing 40 weeks of pregnancy. If you divide it into 3, so you have the first trimester, equal parts, yeah? So first trimester is when most people are having this nausea, they vomit, they have difficulty eating some of these foods. It's a very, very tough time for most women, and yet we still need to maintain a balanced diet. The most important nutrient at this point is going to be your folic acid. You know, folic acid levels, what we eat on our food is not usually necessarily very, it's not adequate. Okay. So most of the time, if at all there's anything you need to take at this point, will be your folic acid. And when you come to the hospital, we'll even give you a supplement that is called folic acid without even the iron, because the iron kind of gives you a bit of the feeling of metallic taste in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so at this point, we would encourage every woman not to really change their normal diet, apart from the folic acid that we've added onto you, but you can also have your normal carbs, your vitamins, and your proteins. You don't have to eat them like lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because you're having nausea, especially in the morning. So you can actually break them into small, you can take every other time. You don't have to finish a full meal. Okay. Okay. The portions will still be the same. Of course, it's better to eat the vegetables. Give it the half, and then and then whatever you're able to eat. We wouldn't stop you from having that. It's just that it's important to mention that you need your folic acid at this point. Don't miss that. It's very vital. The beauty, is that it doesn't usually give most people the nausea, and that's why we don't combine the folic acid and the iron. But when it comes now to the other macronutrients, now as you continue, because it gets better with time, there are some things that you definitely need during this pregnancy. We've talked about the calories, I will not give you like specific calories to but I would encourage people to, with the women who are also pregnant, to still have the same portion plate and have, the vegetables on half that plate, and then divide the other 2. And the carbs, of course, you still eat what you can be able to eat. So don't break or remove one part of that. Let's say you want to not add weight. I wouldn't, you will add weight. That's something that women need to know, that it is healthy to add that weight. So, and it's actually good for them to, they'll even add up to 12 to 15 kgs, depending on whether you are within the normal weight. Even when you're obese, also there's a certain amount of weight we expect you to add, but not beyond a certain level. I'm sorry to interject. The amount of weight you add, a lot of times in the ancient time, that is what they made us believe was because of you're eating the wrong kind of food. But now you are here in your medics, I'm told it's amniotic fluid and the weight of the baby as well. Or am I also misinformed? There's a lot actually. Your blood level will increase. The amount of blood you have will increase in terms of the amount. So that's weight added. Your fat content will also increase, because you need that fat to be able to nourish your body and also the baby. The baby's weight is also there. Then you have, of course, the way you're saying the amniotic fluid, it's being produced, it's being taken in and being reproduced by the baby. So that's also going to be part of your weight. And there's just quite a bit of other things that add, breast, because your breasts have to grow, so they become heavier. So those are all, it's expected. So people shouldn't be very stringent on how they add weight. during this pregnancy.
Okay.
So the calories matter because of course they'll be needed even after breastfeeding. But there's another thing that is very important, your iron intake. So from the second trimester going to the third trimester, we need to have more iron in your body. And whatever you eat in your nutrition is good, yeah, it's good, but it's not necessarily enough, especially in our setup. So I keep taking us back to our setup because this is Africa, this is Kenya.
Yes.
Sometimes we have iron deficiency, you know, because of other things. You have malaria, you have what? Our food from the soil is not enough. So we have to also supplement your iron intake, which will help your blood formation and even help even during delivery. We expect some blood loss and you'll be stable after that. So iron and folic are the two most common supplements almost every woman should have. It's important.
Do you know, I like this conversation because when you go and you queue in that maternity, you know, hospital,
Yes.
they hardly have the time to explain to you why we are giving you the iron. And sometimes women don't even take it. If you go to their houses after delivery, they're like, okay, I didn't take it, I didn't like it, but now I'm glad that we have just said why it is important. Now let's talk to Lindsay about Dr. Lindsay, about after. You mentioned the plate, yes, but I'm looking at why it is important and what nutrients the baby will need that you shouldn't miss because they're actually dependent on you. Directly.
Absolutely. So in the postpartum period, first of all, I talked about the foods, and I wanted to qualify that. So we need to have foods rich in protein. That's number one. Number two, you need to have high fiber foods. Remember, you've just delivered, whether it is via cesarean section or via the spontaneous vaginal delivery. We do not want you to put in a lot of effort bearing down when you're going for your number two, you know, when you're going for your number two. So we want you to have high fiber diet. That means you're making your stool and it's coming out as easily as possibly
no constipation.
can. No constipation at all. That's number two. Number three, you need to reduce on solid fats. So that means no margarine, reduce on your butter, and let's get a high on omega-3. That means eat a lot of fish, eat a lot of tuna, a lot of salmon. Anything that is from the water is amazing. So you need a lot of omega-3. Then you also need a vitamin B12. And this may not always be gotten from our foods, as Dr. Karen is saying. I mean, because of many things. Even look at how we are doing our greenhouse farming. You know, we are fast-pacing our foods. We don't give it enough time, you know, for it to grow. That's number one. Number two, the quality of our soil is not. It's not enough for us to get these nutrients. So we may have to supplement on that. Number three, we still need our iron, even in the postpartum period. Actually, we tell these women, after you have delivered, the same supplements you were using during pregnancy, continue with them up to 6 months.
Okay.
Yes, after delivery. So you need your iron, you need your folic acid, you need your vitamin B12, you need your high fiber diet, you need to reduce on your fats, solid fats, especially solid fats. Either the solid fat that you use, I won't mention any brand, but if you know you're using any solid fat to cook, please don't do that. Reduce on your butter and reduce on your margarine. And lastly, I would want to eat a lot of nuts. Nuts are good for you.
Why?
Nuts are very high. They're very high in fiber. They're high in good fat content. You know, we have good fat and bad fat.
Yes.
So they're high on good fat.
And I was going to say, drink for two.
Yes, and beverages. Yes, take beverages that that have low sugar levels.
Okay.
A lot of bone soup, a lot of water, a lot of say people like hot chocolate if you can, but if you can reduce on your sugar, that would be great.
It's very good for breast production, breast milk production.
Yes. The hot.
In fact, just warm fluids. You can be able to even just take warm water or even hot, maybe even dark chocolate.
Yes.
It's very good for breast milk. The breast just needs fluids.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't have to eat a lot of carbohydrates to give you a lot of milk, like the njahes. They're good, but don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Don't add a lot of weight.
Because I'm sure some women, we act out of panic.
Yes.
Because you care about your child so much. Sometimes you're not lactating.
Yes.
Everyone gives you a lot of information. But we're, of course, having people watching on Facebook. Allow me to acknowledge them and just give them a shout out. And, of course, let me start with, Marcy Nzilani, Princess Becky Lynch, of course, Gina, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, saying, Lindsay Wanjiku, I'm so proud of you, sis.
She's from South Africa. Yay, thank you for watching.
All the way, thank you. Deborah Sharon is also here with us, following closely. And she's saying, Deborah Sharon is saying, our dog. Now, which one of the two is your dog?
That's my friend. Hi, Deborah. Thank you for watching.
Gina Ashimosi is saying, you look good. Lindsay. Wow. Okay. You didn't rally people. And of course,
I'm sure they're there somewhere.
And of course, the only one and only Ken Eugene Anangwe is, of course, saying amazing. So we're just having a really short session, and I know there'll be more on your pages and social media platforms. But before we do sign out, I want to hear your final remarks. I know it's a really wide topic, but somebody is having complications. Maybe, do people ever react to the iron and folic? Are there any other alternatives? Some people do not really do well with the tablets or supplements. Is there a food they can do more compared to others?
Yes, it's possible that there are people who will not be able to tolerate our iron because, of course, the metallic taste is very, very, it can really make you feel a lot of nausea and have difficulty. And sometimes some people get gastritis considering the irritation in the stomach. So what we do is that we usually we don't give you at the beginning completely. So the supplements just come in very strongly from the 2nd to the 3rd trimester, so they don't need to really worry if the iron is not in the 1st trimester. They can be able to take a lot of rich green leafy vegetables. They have a lot of nutrients which can also build their blood level. I would advise them to take a lot of vitamin C. Vitamin C is very good. That is from oranges and from anything tangy. They always have vitamin C, so it helps in terms of absorbing the iron that you have in your diet, which you're getting, of course, from the meats, the liver, and of course the green leafy vegetables, which contain other things that help in blood building. So of course taking a lot of water also helps the cells be able to function rightfully. So yes, there are many other ways you can be able to build your blood levels, not necessarily with the supplements, but it's good to remember that what we have is not adequate in the food. So they might still need to take this up, and we do know when you don't take your supplements.
Oh, you do know?
Yes.
We're going to have another sit down where we actually let you know how the doctors know. From the checkups, how do you know? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Okay. You want to know now?
I know, I'm curious, just like everyone else is right here. They're really curious. Boris Isaac is saying, keep up, ladies.
Thank you.
And Lindsay, I know we're closing, but you have to put a lot of emphasis on people eating right. Because after delivery, guys are like, okay, the baby's fine. Nothing happened to the baby, so okay, let's be careless. Some even start smoking immediately after 3 months into, and then so you want to put emphasis as we close.
First of all, smoking is bad for your health, whether you are 12, 15, 54, 79, whether you're pregnant or not pregnant. If you are struggling with smoking, please try and get help. Smoking is not good for your health at all. And then back to my pregnant mommies. I love pregnant women. I mean, I think my heart just bubbles up when I see a bell, it's just amazing. So for my pregnant women, especially the postpartum period, remember, you may be at risk at getting postpartum depression. And so how to actually curb that is to take vitamin D. So vitamin D from your sunlight, especially between 10 o'clock and midday. Or if you can do that, or maybe you're living in somewhere where it is not as hot, then you could have vitamin D supplements. It really helps with reducing postpartum depression and anxiety. So please check on your vitamin D, ladies. Love the sunlight, but not when it's too hot. The best sun is between 10 o'clock and 12 midday, both for you and your baby.
I like that. I think we've had a short session, but trust me, if you went back to our Facebook channel where we've been streaming live, you can still grasp some of this and take notes. But we'll always be having the Healthy Inside Out, really enriched with this kind of knowledge, short but sweet, educative and entertaining. You guys were amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And we hope to have more doctors and more of you as well.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you want to hear, what you are concerned about on our social media platforms, and they're always ready to respond to this in the next sessions. But from me, Anki Doris Mbat, and the entire Morning Drift team, we hope you can continue to live healthy, because that is the greatest of your wealth. Enjoy your day, have a lovely Thursday, and tag me on those TBTs. Enjoy.